Hello friends, in this video I will be talking about the least favorite topic of all international students, which is scholarships. Trust me, I know how hard it is. It literally feels like this endless labyrinth of research that really never ends. And I've been there myself. Now, I will not be sharing my computer screen, going onto web pages, telling you where to click, how to fill an application and stuff like that, because most of that really depends on what university you apply to and what major you pick. So what I'll be talking about is transferable and actionable steps that anybody can take to increase the chances of them getting a scholarship. Alright, so like I said, the biggest way to find your degree in the US, and the most common way, it's scholarships. And they usually come together with the letter of admission that you receive from the university. Now, this kind of a scholarship that comes with the letter of admission really depends on two things. First is the time that you apply. You know how some of the schools have these round 1, round 2, round 3 deadlines? The earlier you apply, not only a better chance of admission you will have, but also a better chance of getting a scholarship you will have. So the first thing that you should do is go to your target school's website and see if there are rounds for a deadline, or if there's a single deadline, or if there are a couple of rounds. You need to know about the timeline. When is the earliest that you could apply? Some schools start admission as early as September. Some schools still do a rolling base admission until like February and March of the same academic year. If you say, okay, Nijat, I've missed the first 2 deadlines, first 3, first 4 deadlines, what can I do? Well, if you're applying on some of the latest deadlines, it's still not the end of the world. Because the second thing that you getting a scholarship will depend on what they call merit. You might have heard of merit-based scholarships. What it really means is universities really give the scholarships to the brightest students or brighter students. So if you have good GPA, good exam scores, good IELTS score, you have a great motivation letter, you freaking aced your interview, your recommendation letters from your previous professors or your managers if you have work experience, basically means your whole portfolio. It is basically the total picture of you, like your profile in front of the admissions team. Many times I get a question, hey Nijat, I have a very bad GPA, do you think I would get a scholarship? Hey Nijat, I failed my GMAT exam. I only scored below 550. I don't know. Well, the way I look at it is really a balancing act. If you scored a bad GMAT score, you better have a good motivation letter. Your GPA should be good, or your interview should be as good to back yourself up. Because these are the factors that admissions team will take a look at, and they will decide first they would give you an admission or not, and second, they could give you a scholarship or not. You have to remember one thing. There are thousands and thousands of other students competing just like you for the same seat in the school and for the same seat for a scholarship. They also want to get their degrees funded, right? Everybody wants free money. So your application, your interview, your GMAT score, your whole portfolio, your motivation letter, everything has to be top notch, the best you can do. I keep saying portfolio, I know, but your portfolio is so important so that when admissions team look at your application, you are not just an applicant ID 57360, but you're also a guy or a girl who went through this incredible, unique story, who has a purpose of why they want to do a degree in that specific school. So my second advice would really be, if you focus as much as you can on your application and try to top notch and ace everything, you would highly increase your chances of getting a scholarship because of all the effort that you've put in. Third advice that I would give you is related to the very basic concept in economy. Whenever you want something, you need to give something back. So you want this scholarship from a university, from the financial aid office. This money doesn't grow on trees. Universities take months, quarters, years to actually, fundraise through their alumni, through different programs that they run, so that they can build these funds of scholarships. So don't be selfish in your application, in your motivation letter, in your interviews about why you deserve the scholarship or why you want a scholarship. What you need to be focusing on is what will you bring back to the university? What will you give back to the giver of the money, which is university. So I highly recommend you focus on what you give back to the university if you get the scholarship. Because let's be real, universities want bright students in their class, people who bring diversity of opinions, people who are go-getters, people and students who are actively engaged within their classroom, with their classmates, people who know what it is to be challenged in the past, and they fought their way through, and they have a reason, they have a purpose, they have a goal why they want to get this degree. These are usually the students that get funded. So make sure you include answers to all these questions and these qualities in your application, in your, again, motivation letter, be it your resume, or even better, in the interview. Talk about these things. My next piece of advice is the importance of talking to the alumni, talking to either the current students or the students from the previous batch, previous years, previous 2-3 years. Doesn't matter, whoever you can get a hold of. You can find people who just graduated from your target school on LinkedIn. If you basically search your school on LinkedIn and click on alumni, you're going to see the list of people. You can even filter it by the year that they graduated in, what city they're living in, what industry they're working in. Now, do not spam these people. Go talk to them, ask them questions, ask them maybe if they have 15 minutes to talk to you on Zoom. Just ask questions about what their experiences were at this school while they were studying a year ago or 2 years ago. You can also look for these people on Reddit, which is a little unconventional, I understand, but it's a place where people share things about their university. There are usually a lot of people talking about the city, the school itself, accommodation. You're also going to find tons of shitty memes that you might as well just close the tab. Lastly, you could also use this website called GMATclub.com. In this website, you can actually prepare for your GMAT exam. There are tons of great exercises. I used to use this website all the time whenever I was preparing for GMAT. But there's also a forum of people discussing their admission letters, talking about education loans, scholarships. So it's a great way of getting an idea about your university policy on financial aid. After talking to several students of the previous batch, tell the admissions team how your experience was talking to these students, because it shows you're expressing interest at this school. You've gone the extra mile of reaching out to people, asking about their experiences, see if the school is a good fit for yourself. In my case, actually, I was able to find the only alumnus from my school. He graduated I think 17, 20 years back. And I found this person in my home country, in Azerbaijan, in my hometown Baku, and he actually invited me to his house. I went over, we actually ended up meeting outside his apartment. We had a great chat, and he was telling me this professor that he really loved. 20 years ago, he was teaching at this school, and I go back to Pittsburgh in 2019. I go and I did my MBA there, and that professor was still teaching there. I went to talk to him. I said, hey, I talked to your former student from 20 years ago. See, these are the things that you can make a story out of, and people, this will just stick into people's mind, into admissions team's mind, and you will be remembered for just the sheer effort of you reaching out and talking to these people and having a good experience. This just goes to show you didn't just do a simple research on their website or on Google, but you actually went to research by talking to the actual people who went to the school. If none of these worked for you, which I really hope it does. If you didn't apply early enough, you actually reached out to all the people you found on LinkedIn, Reddit, Facebook, GMAT Club, you did your research, you aced your application, and you still didn't get a scholarship, which is very highly unlikely if you've done all of these things. My last piece of advice is, once you become a student at an American university, you will get a lot more chances of funding. For example, after your first semester, you could get a chance to be a graduate assistant, be a teaching assistant, or a research assistant. You could also attend these business case competitions that pay significant amount of money as a prize. I myself won one business case competition, and I also won a business alumni scholarship. I think that's what it was called. Those two, prize and a scholarship, they helped me significantly pay for the last 2 semesters of my school. And I was able to find a job within my university. I was a videographer actually. I was filming marketing events for our school's marketing team. I really enjoyed my time working with them. I made some extra money on the side to pay towards my tuition, to pay for my rent, my clothes, my food, all the life expenses. And then during summer, you can find an internship that pay you really good money. I was able to find an internship in the summer while I wasn't studying, so I was just constantly working 40 hours a week, because on F1 visa, you can actually work on something called CPT. But this is a discussion for another video, but my point is opportunities will arise while you're in the US, while you're in the university, while you're actually a student here. But I understand you still need some kind of initial capital to come here to pay for your first semester, pay for your accommodation, your tickets, your visa fee, your everything. Anyways, this is all I wanted to say in this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please click on like button, go and subscribe to my channel. I just started a couple of weeks ago and I will be trying to post regular videos. And you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I usually post shorter videos. Go ahead and check them out. I post videos about IELTS, GMAT, F1 visa, H1B visa. I'll be posting more and more things. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.